Welcome to Saturday and Join the Dots. Now, I'm struggling. I'm struggling to put together everything that I want to give to you and you need to know. But I'm really struggling because there's just too much now. So what I propose to do this weekend is not talk so much, but give you two very, very serious pieces, two links in this video and my next one, for you to better understand one of the solutions, but another sort of solution you're being presented with, which is absolutely the opposite of what you're being told. And that's the Genius Act. And I'll send you two links on each day so that you can spend time watching or reading them. You just need to. I've stressed so many times in these presentations, you need to do some work. The flippant comments I get from some people tell me you're not prepared to do the work. You either have an easy answer in 5 seconds or you're not interested. And that's the trouble with life today. We've been taught instant answers, instant gratification. We haven't been taught to think through things, to understand things, and now what have we got? We've got AI, so you can have the answer in a second. No. Let me just give you some sort of things that I've been looking at this week, or towards the end of this week, to try and, to try and condense it, but I can't. There's too much. There's just too much. We've got, just to give you, I mean, I don't know where to start on my notes even. It's just ridiculous. Japan, I'm going to start with Japan. I know it's not relevant to most people, and I know most people can't associate with Japan. But it has inflation at 3 to 3.5%, and it has contraction, not negative growth. Negative growth sounds positive, doesn't it? Because it's got growth in there. It's not, it's a contraction of 0.7%. Inflation at 3.5, contraction 0.7. That is stagflation. That is the worst of all economic scenarios, and it's coming to you soon. Europe, UK, America, Australia, Canada, everywhere is going to suffer stagflation. Stagflation. So I've given you the Japan because that's the one where there's data out now. Okay. Now I'm going to give you a list of horrible things that are happening now, but I'm not going to give you all the details because I can't. I haven't got the time. You haven't got the time. Okay, let's think about it. US food is being weaponized. US food is being weaponized. The price of beef in America has gone up 12% in the last 12 months. And you know how Americans eat a lot of beef, whether it's beef burgers, whether it's steaks, whatever it is. It's a core item of their diet. 12% in a year. What's inflation? 2.9. What was your wage rise? China now, as I've told you many times, is broken. Now I'm going to tell you another stat now, which I think you need to understand, and I don't think you'll accept. We'll need to prove evidence, but I'm telling you it's the truth. The population in China now is not 1.409 billion. It is under 1 billion, perhaps severely under 1 billion. And we know that through the school data, because schools are shutting left, right and centre. You don't shut schools unless your population is falling. It's just so obvious. China is bust. Okay, I've talked about Japan. EU banks are now sending out notices. And basically, they're sending out notices to the banks. And they're sending out news reports. And the bottom line is that there's an 11% liquidity squeeze on consumers. In other words, the EU banks are being told and are telling the EU, and it's going backwards and forwards, okay, that they are not worried about the tariffs. They're not worried about the trade wars, but they're going to hit the consumer. They're going to squeeze the consumer. The UK is bust, we know that. We know Rachel Reeves is crying in Parliament. We know they're bust. And do you know what they've just done? They've just moved all those immigrants, illegal immigrants, people who've broken the law, they're moving them all from Epping to where? Canary Wharf, 4-star hotel, swimming pool, beautiful. So you think the protests are going to stop? Or you think they're going to grow? And we know the economy's bust, and we know it's in stagflation. Hong Kong banks in real trouble. Thinking of forming a bad debt bank. That's always a sign that their economy's broken. Chinese banks, well, we know bad debts in China now, I would estimate, and remember they've got the 3 biggest banks in the world in terms of assets, in terms of exposures. 10 to 15%, I would estimate their bad debts. Their capital ratios, 5%. They're 2-3 times bust. That's China. What else do we have? I don't know. House prices everywhere, collapsing. Big reports out in America this week. Big reports. House prices collapsing nationally. I've told you about this. Warned you about this for the last month. It's coming. EU. So the EU are now launching what is basically an assault through the corridors of power, through the WTO, through the IMF, through talks with all sorts of bodies. They're going to launch what effectively comes down to the beginning of a sanctions package against the US. I kid you not. I kid you not. Despite the fact their banks are taking all the money out of consumers and not lending. They're going to launch a campaign against the US, akin to sanctions, basically through the WTO, etc. It takes lots and lots of layers of actions, but it's coming. And you know me, I want to be ahead. I don't want to tell you afterwards, I want to be ahead. And then we have the EU and its war against Russia, which we know is getting worse. We know it's getting deeper. We know that NATO is now training, evidently, the British intelligence service is training the successor to Zelensky. Do you know that? I think they have, no, don't they have an election? No, they don't have elections in Ukraine, do they? Didn't have one last time. Haven't had one since 2014. Oh, aren't we protecting the greatest democracy in the world? Oh, yeah, thought so. I have to be cynical and I have to be sarcastic because you have to understand the depth of the lies that you're being told. No more lies than under the Genius Act in the States. That is a complete and utter lie. And on Sunday, I'm going to just give you 2 videos for you to watch to understand why that's such a lie. Okay? But for Saturday, I will give you 2 links this weekend, and I want you to really, really take some time. Please take some time. Okay? I'll give you a link, and they're both involving the same person, Andrea Cecci, a brilliant banker who has resigned from banking. Let me find his words, because if I can find his words, they're very profound. This newsletter has a few thousand subscribers. Few of you share it, almost none. So very few of us know these things. So very few of us will be able to save ourselves. I resigned from the bank to say these things with credibility and to try to save as many people as possible. If you want to help me, share it with the people you love. Now, that I think would be a nice catchline from my service. I want to help you. I've got there's no other angle to this other than helping people. There's doing all this masses of research over 5 years. Before I even considered thinking, well, let's start to share this now. I've got enough ammunition, there's enough in there to make it obvious to people just how conned they're being. And here we are. Okay, so I want to give you a solution though. It's no good giving you all the problems, is it, without a solution? Okay, so Andrea Cecci has a solution, or rather has what he believes will be their solution for their problems, but if you act as they do, you can save yourself. And yes, it does come down to gold, and it comes down to the value of gold, and it comes down to the way, the only way they can in effect extend and pretend this crashing system, this suicidal journey to almost financial hell. But you can see it in Japan, you can see it in China, you can see it in America, you can see it in the EU. You can see it in house prices. I'm giving you it early. Most people won't even think of this, won't even dare to think of it. We have to act. So I'm giving you those two links. They're both Andrea Cecci. One is on Manicure64 and one is Andrea Cecci's Substack. Please take some time. Take some time. It's your future. It's your family's future. It's your friend's future. It's whoever you share it with's future. We only get one shot at this, because afterwards all you can do is moan, which is probably what we're used to over the last 50 years, isn't it? We're quite happy moaning. I don't want to moan. I want to be ahead. Okay? So please, take some time. Use the links. Thank you very much.